This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
It's always about a girl, but this one, she might just save me from my fragile mind as it starts to waste my time on red flags, past wounds and maybe, oh maybe.
No way, it's too far to climb, man.
Keep it moving till you're ready to go.
No way, wasting it out, man.
Keep it moving till you're ready to go.
Program is rated MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, you know it, and so do I. It does not matter who the host is. What has always mattered is who the listeners are. Anyways, today's Monday, September the 22nd of 2025, day 265th of the year, and only 100 days left to go. We are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM, and then we are hanging out with our friends and colleagues over there.
Radio Big. USA, Canada, UK.
Yep, that's how we do it. That's how we hang. That's how we bang. That's how we do the mumbo jumbo, as we are talking about a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and going across the multiverse. So how are things been for you? Because we need to talk about that. You know, it's been a weekend. Hopefully you're coming off of the weekend with some grandioso stuff going on. If not, that makes it kind of boring, but we can talk about that as we go. Anyways, a lot of stuff to cover during the show today, so don't worry about that. Our show consists of safety in the news and safety. That's kind of how we go about the gamut. I didn't say damn it. I said gamut of things that we get to do, so don't worry about that. As we go through everything, we'll talk a little bit about this, a little bit about that, and then we'll cover some main news stories and then talk about some safety aspects as we are going about. So don't worry about any of that stuff, because that's kind of how we do it. And then we'll say, this is how we do it. And then we'll have a little song and a little dance, little Batman's head on a lance as we are going through the whole thing. If you want to interact with the show, it's a simple process of doing so. Callinradio.com. We'll get everything moving and grooving for you. That's callinradio.com. We'll get everything moving and grooving for you. Once you get there, you'll have the option to video, text, and audio message. So there you go. Some stuff to do so if you're so inclined to. So outside of that, that's kind of how we go. It lasts about an hour, and then hour 2 and 3 that we do on the radio side of Radio Big. We'll talk about music and entertainment. So first hour is recorded, video streamed, playing on different platforms, audio platforms mostly, and then we do the video stream as well, but it's only the first hour. Everything else goes into radio. So don't worry about that. So that's what's going on. I have some friends from Feature Story News that are hanging out. But before we start getting into what they're doing, why don't we start talking about what the hell was trending in the overnight?
Here is what was trending. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so as I take a look at the trends of the ends, it goes something like this. Notable and noteworthy, the latest of the precarious, pre-whatever TikTok deal. We'll talk about that. Also, Justin Baldoni hires Diddy's attorney, and Adele's in talks to perform at the Super Bowl. Why don't we ever get like some Metallica or Disturbed or something? I don't know, but whatever. And an update on Jimmy Kimmel and casting calls, so we'll talk about that. And then what else? Prince Harry and his wife step out for a fundraiser. We'll talk about that inside of the Royals. So if you're good with this, I'm good with this. I have my friends from Feature Story News waiting in the wings to talk a little bit about what the hell is going on inside of the world of the news. So if you're good with that, I'm good with it too. So here we go.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Simon Gaitan. The formal recognition of a Palestinian state by an increasing number of countries has been met with widespread condemnation in Israel. France and other European nations are expected to follow the UK, Canada, Australia and Portugal in recognising Palestinian statehood as pressure from the international community grows against Israel's ongoing war in Gaza ahead of Monday's United Nations conference. Prime Minister Netanyahu is weighing an Israeli response. Blake Sifton reports from Tel Aviv.
Israeli politicians from across the political spectrum have denounced the recognition of a Palestinian state by the UK, Canada, Australia and Portugal. Prime Minister Netanyahu called it a terror state and vowed a Palestinian state will not be established. Centrist opposition leader Yair Lapid called the move a harmful step and a reward for terror. Netanyahu says that Israel's response will come when he returns from the U.S. next week after meeting President Trump on Sunday. Israel is believed to be considering annexing parts of the West Bank, a move that the UAE and Saudi Arabia have warned would jeopardize normalization efforts between Israel and Arab countries. Blake Sifton, Tel Aviv.
US President Donald Trump has hailed murdered activist Charlie Kirk a martyr for American freedom at a memorial event attended by thousands of people. The event is seen as a galvanizing moment for conservative and MAGA politics. His widow told the crowd she forgives her late husband's killer. Nick Harper reports from Washington.
It's not normal to see a president and almost his entire cabinet at a memorial service, especially for someone who is not a former president. But that speaks to Charlie Kirk's influence at the White House and in Donald Trump's MAGA movement. Vice President J.D. Vance said that Kirk had reshaped the balance of US politics. Trump described the late activist as one of the brightest lights of our time, a giant of his generation. But his conservative views were polarizing. This moment coming at a time when divisions in the United States seem to be even more clearly defined. I'm Nick Harper in Washington.
A Chinese satellite tracking vessel is once again in the Indian Ocean region. The move revives concerns in New Delhi over Beijing's growing maritime presence in waters seen as critical to India's security. The Indian Navy is said to be closely monitoring the ship ahead of upcoming missile tests by India near the shore of the Bay of Bengal. Kshitij Nagar has more from New Delhi.
The ship had previously sailed through the Indian Ocean in 2022, drawing sharp criticism from India. While there has been a recent thaw in relations between India and China, militaries of both nations remain deployed along the disputed Himalayan border where clashes broke out 4 years ago. Analysts say Beijing's growing naval activity in the Indian Ocean adds another layer of strain, prompting New Delhi to increase surveillance and patrols in the region. Kshitij Nagar, New Delhi.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks. This will be the week in which several countries formally recognise Palestinian statehood. Announcements timed to coincide with the annual meeting of the UN General Assembly. France, Canada, Australia and the UK are taking the step, and British Prime Minister Keir Starmer made the news public on Sunday. But why is now the time formally to recognise Palestinian statehood, even before Hamas releases all the hostages that it holds in Gaza? David Lammy is the UK's Deputy Prime Minister.
When I said at the UN at the end of July that we would do this unless we saw a ceasefire, well, what's happened since then is the Rafah offensive, which will lead to hundreds, maybe thousands of people losing their lives. What's happened since then is the E1 expansion and development that's been announced by the government, which would run a coach and horses between the north and south of the West Bank. And what's happened since then is more people have continued to die. And in the end, the children of Gaza and indeed the West Bank deserve a state of their own. And we cannot say that we must have perfect conditions to arrive at that state.
The US government argues the recognition is irrelevant and faults even some of its allies for granting recognition to the Palestinians without imposing any kind of preconditions in exchange. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
To recap the top stories. The UK, Canada, Australia and Portugal have formally recognised Palestine's statehood, with France and other European nations set to follow ahead of Monday's United Nations conference. US President Donald Trump has hailed murdered activist Charlie Kirk a martyr for American freedom at a memorial event attended by thousands. And the Indian Navy is said to be closely monitoring a Chinese vessel in the Indian Ocean region, reviving concerns in New Delhi over Beijing's growing maritime presence. That's the latest feature story news. Simon Gaitan reporting.
You are listening to a radio god. What? This has to be an error. That host is not a radio god. Anyways, this is the Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
It's always amazing to me on how technology changes, and so does the environment that we're in. And cyber criminals will do everything they can to take advantage of a system. If you don't own a home, you have nothing to fear about what I'm about to tell you. But if you own a home like me and you don't guard it with home title lock, you're inviting home title fraud. One of the fastest growing crimes. Cyber thieves around the world know our home values are sky high at the moment, and that makes us a target. The crime is scary simple. Let me explain it to you real quick. A cyber thief simply forges your name on a property sale form and refiles it. That's it. Now he or she is on the deed of your home and you have no idea that you're a victim. Then the person takes out a loan on your home and vanishes, leaving you to prove to the police that you didn't commit bank fraud. Home Title Locks puts a virtual barrier around your home title. The instant they detect any kind of tampering or anybody messing around, they help shut it down. Look, if you have equity in your home, you need to guard it the best way that you can. Some people might even go as far as guarding it with their life. Go to HometitleLock.com and register your address to see if you already are a victim. And enter the code RADIO. That's RADIO. That's the code RADIO for 30 days free of protection. That's code RADIO at HometitleLock.com.
They're good. They're very funny.
They're hilarious. They just be whoever they want to be.
It's just really funny.
Rated R Safety Show.
Hey there, Jay Allen here with Safety FM, where we just don't talk about safety, we live it. And when it comes to safeguarding your future, there's no better partner than Acorns. This part of the show has been brought to you by Acorns, and a powerful tool that makes saving and investing easier than ever. We all know that investing can feel overwhelming, especially with busy lives and no time to dive into the nitty-gritty of financial markets, but Acorns changes the game. With Acorns, you don't need to be a financial expert or have a hefty sum of money to get started. In fact, Acorns lets you begin with just spare change. It's all about those small steps, small investments today that can build into something much bigger over time. Acorns recommends that the expert build portfolio designed to fit financial goals. Then it does the heavy lifting for you by automatically investing your money. It's like having a financial advisor in your pocket working around the clock to help your money grow. So why wait? Head over to acorns.com/safetyfm or download the Acorns app and take that first step towards securing your future today. Remember, in the world of safety and investing, small actions today can lead to mighty outcomes tomorrow. Paid non-client endorsement. Compensation provides an incentive to positively promote Acorns. Investing involves risk. Acorns Advisors, LLC, and SEC registered investment advisors. View important disclosures at acorn.com/safetyfm. At Safety FM, we're all about making smart decisions on the job and in life. So take control of your financial future. This is Jay Allen reminding you to stay safe, stay smart, and invest in your tomorrow.
What if everything we thought we knew about safety was just interference? From the host of the Rated R Safety Show and the founder of Safety FM comes the complete signal transmission trilogy, now available in one powerful edition. Safety, in my opinion, the book that started the conversation. Safety Mutation, where the boundaries of culture, systems, and belief begin to break. And now, Safety Transmission, the final piece of the signal. For the first time, all 3 books are together in one volume. The Signal Transmission Trilogy, Complete Edition. This isn't just about compliance. It's about consciousness. It's about decoding the way we think, lead, and live, inside and outside the system. Whether you've been following the signal since the beginning or you're just now tuning in, this is the version to own. Search Signal Trilogy on Amazon or visit safetyfm.com to get your copy now.
We are radio. We are sarcasm. We are both combined. Radio Big.
Okay, we're something for sure. No doubt about that. 16 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out on this lovely Monday. Yep, I still believe that it's Monday. It looks like a Monday. Yeah, it's for sure a Monday the 22nd. So let's make sure that we know that. Anyways, with that being said, let's continue talking inside of the world of the multiverse, and let's start getting right away into what the hell is going on. So let's go down the path real quick. President Trump spoke to and with China Xi Jinping on Friday, but has not yet announced the official deal to keep TikTok up and running. Over the weekend, some news of the details of the current deal elements emerge. American investors would own 80% of the new company that uses current algorithm. ByteDance, the current CCP influence owners, would hold on to no more than the remaining 20%. The major American investors in the new company include Oracle, Dell Technologies, and the Murdoch family, which owns News Corp, the subsidiaries of Fox News. The board of directors would include 6 American and likely 1 Chinese representative. It is likely the existing users would have to migrate to a new app. So it would be interesting to see exactly what was going on. Are you a TikTok user? I mean, I'm just asking the question to understand better because I personally do not use it. My child does. She tends to like that. A lot of people that I know tend to use it. It does absolutely nothing for me. But then again, I am not the target audience. So that's perfectly fine. So a lot of stuff to talk about as we are going down the multiverse of stuff to discuss. So no doubt there. Anyways, continuing talking about some other stuff. Take a listen to this. Let's see. Police in Sacramento on Friday arrested a man, Al Hernandez Santana, accused of firing 3 shots into the lobby of the local ABC affiliate in a drive-by shooting. Despite being charged with assault with a deadly weapon, shooting into an occupied building, and negligence discharge of a firearm, he posted bail and was released. But wait, just hours later, the FBI arrested the suspect on probable cause for federal crime, interfering with radio communication of a station's licensed by the government. According to LinkedIn, Hernandez Santana used to be the California Federation of Teachers legislative director. His X feed in a stream of Trump derangement is what they're calling it, and officials say that it can't quite figure out the motive for the shooting. So listen, I don't know. What are you shooting up TV stations for? That's kind of a weird thing to do in the first place. If you're not agreeing with what ABC is doing with the Jimmy Kimmel Live show, that's a whole other conversation. And don't believe that going after one radio or one TV station, or any TV station for that fact, makes any kind of sense. There's other ways to have an approach on this. So just take a look around. It's the easiest way to do stuff. I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird time. Definitely a weird time as we are talking.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Yeah, definitely trying to be something. I'm just not sure what the hell that is, but we'll figure that out as we go. Anyways, the CEO of Steak and Shake, Sardar Bagari, is going after the head of Cracker Barrel following last month's rebranding debacle. Bagari also owns 3% stake in Cracker Barrel and is leading up a proxy battle to oust the current CEO, Julia Fels Malsino. He filed paperwork with the SEC last week, but also bought a billboard in Nashville calling for Massino's firing. So there you go. Some stuff going on there. Heading up Cracker Barrel's appears to be a long-time goal for Mr. Sardar, who since 2011 has launched 7 campaigns to try to wrestle control of the restaurant chain. This is according to the Wall Street Journal. So there you go. What do you think there? Interesting stuff, that's for sure. I mean, I don't know. I'm not picking here, but I just want to call something out. Have you been to Steak and Shake lately? Like, have you been to a Steak and Shake? How was the quality of the food? I mean, we're talking franchise model here, so let's just make sure that we understand. How was the quality of the food to you? And I will tell you that around here in my neck of the woods, in Florida, part of Florida, a few, let me say a few, I shouldn't say a lot, a few Steak and Shakes have closed down. Before they closed down, there were signs close to them that would say, own a Steak and Shake franchise for as little as $10,000. And then they talked about some split and all that kind of fun stuff. But if you think about that, most other franchise models require some kind of crazy amount of money. I've seen them as low as like 1 million to like 2 million and change to 3 million and change to be part of a franchise. So I don't know. I mean, would it put it in better hands? Of course, this is my opinion. Would it be better hands? Would it be worse hands? This is my opinion that I'm talking about, of course. It gets very weird when we start talking about this stuff. I don't know. It's kind of a strange time when we start talking about this. Anyways, take a listen to this one. Follow up of an ancient bracelet that went missing. Yes, that went missing. So let's talk about this. Officials have arrested 4 suspects. The prime culprit is believed to be a restoration specialist working at a museum who sold the artifact to an acquaintance who owns a nearby jewelry shop for a mere $3,800. Security camera footage at the shop reportedly shows the illicit transaction taking place. Police were at least able to confiscate the cash. Okay. No charges have been announced yet, though a judge managing the case has ordered the restoration specialist and the shop owner detained for 2 weeks during the investigation. Can somebody explain that to me? Because I'm kind of confused. Okay, so there you go. So there you go. There's the story about a bracelet. So there's a story about a bracelet. So there you go. What else do we got? Okay, so take a listen to this one. The cow who escaped from Arizona meat processing plant last month, just days before being slaughtered, now has a new home and a new name. Mutilda. Yeah, that's not a joke as I say that. Mutilda. And as she is known, was recaptured within hours of the escape, but not before she caught the eye of the owner of a local animal sanctuary who raised the funds to buy her from the plant. Now Mutilda will live her rest of her life's days as Amy's Animal Sanctuary in Santan Valley, Arizona. So there you go. Santan Valley, Arizona. So there you go. Okay, a lot of stuff going on still inside of the multiverse, so let's continue talking because it is a good time to do that. So let's do that. Hall of Fame hockey goaltender Bernie Parent, not a fake last name, has died. He passed away on Sunday, according to his former team, the Philadelphia Flyers. No cause of death was given, so there you go. Let's talk real quick about some other stuff. Let's talk about the weekend box office. Coming in at number 10 was Weapons with $1.2 million. At number 9 was Sights and Sound Present Noah Live, $1.3 million. At number 8 was Toy Story, the 30th anniversary, $1.4 million. At number 7, The Senior with $2.7 million. At number 6, The Big Bold Beautiful Journey, $3.5 million. At number 5 was The Long Walk, $6.3 million. At number 4 was Downtown Abbey, the grand finale, $6.3 million. At number 3, The Conjuring, Last Rites, $12.9 million. You ready for this? At number 2 was Him with $3.5 million. And then this is just the difference between 2 and 1. Demon Slayer, the movie, Infinite Castle, $70 million. Yep. Number 2, 3.5. Number 1, 70. Is that right? That I thought it made 70 last week as well. That sounds awfully close. I have to investigate that stuff a little bit more. So there you go. Okay. So if you're ready,
we're about to get swampy.
So some more sweet morsels from Kamala Harris campaign memoir due out tomorrow. Harris' top pick for VP was Pete Buttigieg, but though the America wasn't ready to vote for a black woman and a gay man, which doesn't quite explain why she picked Tim Walz, is what the editor says here. Then she also thought Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro was too ambitious and claims that he asked a staffer about what art he would pick for the Naval Observatory. He has since denied this. So there you go. What else? Joe Biden called her before her debate with President Trump, demanding to know why he was hearing through his brother that she was bad-mouthing him at donors in Pennsylvania. Her team had Madam President cupcakes made, but staffers peeled off the icing letters before dispatching them to staffers late on the election night. There was wine, too. That's not a joke. Harris says that she was in shock to barely be able to breathe when told that her loss was inevitable. My God, what will happen to our country, she says, and she kept saying. Here's what has since happened to our country. So here you go. This is the editor writing all of this stuff, so I'm kind of telling you what it says here. Illegal border crossing has hit zero. Deportations have surged, and some have voluntarily exit. Drug cartels' boats are getting blasted out of the water, and an innovation trade scheme promises to pay down debt and cut taxes. So this is the editor, and that is the book, and we will see what happens when the book comes out. I'm sure there's going to be more stuff about it. A lot more stuff about it. So I don't know. It's an interesting time as we talk about a whole bunch of different stuff going on inside of the world of politics. So I got a question for you, because I never understand some of this stuff, because it's how it goes. Is the political landscape based on last election going the way that you wanted? Now, keep in mind that I am not a local radio show, so I am not in one place as we talk about this stuff. We are kind of on one of those national things where we kind of go everywhere. Matter of fact, let's say world things, but really I try to make sure that we talk a little bit about some of the stuff that goes around across the country, not just in the state, because if we did that, we'd be very limited. But is the people that were voted into office, is it going the way that you wanted? I'm just asking. Or has it, taken a turn not that you expected, and so on? Just stuff to think about. I'm just asking a question to ask a question, that is for sure. That is not what I meant to play. That is not what I meant to play. That's what I got.
Who truly cares what this guy has to say? Who gives a shit? Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so let's talk about it. The Dow increased by 172 points to close at 46,315 on Friday. The S&P increased by 32 points to close at 6,664. The NASDAQ increased by 160 points to close at 22,631. In West Texas Intermediate closed at $62 a barrel, and Brent crude was at $66 a barrel. The national average price of a gallon of gas was $3.18 on Sunday, and Bitcoin was mostly flat over the weekend, trading just around $115.3 $100,000. Tuesday night's Mega Million drawing will be for $451 million jackpot or a $208.7 million cash payout. Tonight's Powerball drawing will be for $113 million jackpot or a $52.5 million cash payout. So if you want to play the game, you have the opportunity to do so. So there you go. Anyways, take a listen to this because it might be interesting. It ends with Us director Justin Baldoni has added Alexandra Shapiro to his defense team. She mostly recently represented Sean Combs in his sex trafficking case, while Baldoni's $400 million counter lawsuit against co-star Blake Lively was tossed in June. Their legal battle is far than over, as the insisting he cover her legal fees and pay compensation for the harm caused to her. Meanwhile, the sexual harassment lawsuit Lively filed against Baldoni last December will go before a jury in March. He denied all allegations, so there you go. In some other news, Adele is in talks to perform at the 2026 Super Bowl halftime show. Others rumored to be in contention for the gig include Taylor Swift and Miley Cyrus. The big game takes place in Santa Clara, California in February. This is according to Page 6. In some other news, Cardi B isn't worried about her boyfriend Stefan Diggs' paternity suit, telling curious fans on Instagram Live, "We'll figure it out, bitch." The response comes days after the news broke that Diggs, who is expecting a child with Cardi, could also be the father of a 5-month-old girl named Charlie. Diggs says it isn't sure if he is the father or not. Okay. So there you go. This comes from, hold on, is this right? This comes from HNHH. Okay. What is this? Hot News with Hop. Yep, that's the website. Hot News with Hop. I don't know why I thought it was Halloween Horror Nights for some god unknown reason when I first glanced at it, which would have kind of been even funnier. Anyways, 32 minutes almost. We're almost there. We're at 31 and change, but at 32 minutes past the top of the hour, we know we're going to go into our main story. So should we do that or should we do one more? Let's squeeze one more in real quick. Johnny Depp's new rescue dog allegedly mauled 2 sheep while running around a neighborhood field. The bull mastiff named Bourbon reportedly broke loose during a walk and attacked the grazing animals and killing them. The farmer, who was rightfully upset, told The Sun that he considered the incident a very serious matter. As for the dogs, insiders say that Depp has hired a dog trainer for extra precautions in place to make sure it doesn't happen again. This is according to The Sun. Interesting stuff, no doubt about that. Anyways, with that being said, now let's get into the main story because I think that that's going to be important.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, main story time as we are talking a little bit about this, talking a little bit about that. And here's the funny thing. I'm sure there are things that happen inside of the workplace that you always kind of question and you kind of look at some of the stuff and go, is it really working out with how people say that it does work out? Or are you seeing something entirely different? Or is it just the traditional mumbo jumbo that happens inside of the workplace? So I don't know. So let's start having a conversation in regards to some of the stuff that is going on. So let's say hypothetically you work inside of an organization, and inside of this organization there are people. Well, I don't think I'm making anything up or hypothetically anything, but this might be the case. And imagine that these people that you are working with, there is one person that a lot of people tell you be careful with. A lot of people say, watch out for Goofy. Because things are not exactly as they appear. You question the stuff, but you continue doing work or interacting with X person. Okay, kind of the traditional. And then years go by. And everything you heard about this person, you kind of see some stuff, but it's never happened to you directly. And out of the blue, things have not worked out well with this person. And then the change occurs. The thing that everybody said, you see to be true. Do you question the motives? And I'm looking at this a lot from a safety standpoint, where you hear these things where people are like, they only take the precautions when other people are around. When other people are around, they take the precautions. And you go, yeah, that's not that person. They do the stuff all the time. I've noticed from afar, even when they didn't know that I was looking. But here's the kick. Then the 1 point happens, and you see the sprinkling as it goes. And let's just go.
Sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle.
And then you kind of ask that question, were other people right? And then the turn of events. The failure, the occurrence, the happening, the thing that triggered by that one thing that did not go correct fails the whole system. Then you start questioning, did the person do it on purpose or not? Even though throughout the years, you had heard that the person does questionable stuff when other people are not looking. Which, kind of one of those oxymoron things, because you kind of go, well, if you weren't looking, how would you know the person was doing it? But that's the catch. You can see people, and then you can know people, and then you kind of look at how does it work out. Recently, I had a great experience with someone that I had done work with throughout the years. And I did not realize that from my end, I was a single-serving whatever. So single-serving friend, single-serving acquaintance, and once there was no longer a need for the services that I provided, then all of a sudden, all the bad stuff that I had heard throughout the years about the person, the appearance came through. And it was interesting to see, because all you had to do was have a conversation. And it becomes interesting on how we let our single point failure systems occur in this way. And listen, I put safeguards in anything that we normally try to build out here at Safety FM and at Radio Big. But it's amazing on how sometimes people are one way. And as long as you're serving them one way, that is perfectly fine for them to do business with you. And then when you stop single serving them, guess what? It's time to go bye-bye. But that's okay, because that's how life goes. Here's the way that I look at it. When you're inside of your system and you're taking a look at everything that is going on, do you believe the rumors of what you hear? Or do you only believe what exactly is happening in front of your eyes?
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You are listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
If you're anything like me, you have certain tendencies to put things off, such as filing taxes, seeing the doctor, working on that home improvement project that you're supposed to be doing, but you just haven't gotten to it. And while most of the times it works out, the one thing in life that you really cannot afford to wait on is setting up term coverage life insurance. You've probably seen life insurance commercials on TV and thought, yeah, I'll look into it later. Well, the answer is no. This isn't something that you can wait for. Choose life insurance through Ladder today. Ladder is 100% digitals, no doctors, no needles, no paperwork. When you apply for $3 million in coverage or less, just answer a few questions about your health in an application. Ladder's customers rate them 4.8 out of 5 stars on Trustpilot, and they've made Forbes' Best Life Insurance in 2021's list. You just need a few minutes and a phone or a laptop to apply. Ladder's smart algorithm works in real time, so you'll find out if you're instantly approved. No hidden fees, cancel anytime, get full refund if you change your mind in the first 30 days. Ladder policies are issued by insurers with long proven histories of paying claims. They're rated A and A+ by AM Best. Finally, since life insurance costs more as you age, now is the time to cross it off your list. So go to ladder.com/safetyfm today to see if you're instantly approved. That's LADDER life.com/safetyfm. Ladderlife.com/safetyfm.
Safety never sounded so terrible. Rated R Safety Show.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
In safety, in my opinion, you woke up. You saw the system, the simulation, the structure that trained you to mistake compliance for care. Safety mutation. Information misdirection picks up where the signal fractured. Because the system didn't shut you down, it rebranded you. It packaged your voice, sold your rebellion as a new initiative, and smiled while doing it. This isn't a manual. It's a decoded transmission about what happens when slogans replace stories, when safety becomes marketing, and when truth gets mirrored so perfectly, you forget it was ever yours. You'll see the mutation. Learning teams turned into theater, zero harm turned into optics, and feedback turned into formatting. But the signal didn't die. It was redirected. Safety Mutation is Book 2 of the Signal Transmission Trilogy. Available now in print, Kindle, and audiobook. Narrated by the author J. Allen, Ph.D. Because the system adapted. Now it's your move.
Tearing the ass out of you like gas station sushi.
It's always about a girl, but this one, she might just save me from my fragile mind as it starts to waste my time on red flags, past wounds and maybe, oh maybe.
No way, it's too far to climb, man.
Keep it moving till you're ready to go.
No way, you're wasting it out, man.
Keep it moving till you're ready to go.
No way, it's too far to climb, man.
Keep it moving till you're ready to go.
No way, you're wasting it out, man.
Keep it moving till you're ready to go.
You here, baby.
Okay, here we go. 44 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out on this lovely Monday. This is still the Rated R Safety Show. Coming across Safety FM and Radio Big, no doubt about that. So a lot of stuff going on inside of the world of the multiverse. So there you go. There you go. There you go. Anyways, this song right here, this is Who Says. This is by Niko. Song's readily available on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, and Pandora. We would like to thank Niko for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show. Always a good time as we get to do some new musica around here in the multiverse. No doubt about that. As we are talking. Anyways, let's start talking about some other stuff because that's kind of what we do. And if anything, this might be the most important thing that I tell you in my lifetime. So no matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help. And the people at To Write Love on Her Arms want you to know that people have been where you are now and things can get better. Healing is possible. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to TWLOHA.com. That's TWLOHA.com and click on the section that says Find Help. Once you get there, there'll be information related to addiction, depression, anxiety, eating disorder, self-injury, suicide, trauma, and grief support, just to name a few. That's TWLOHA.com. To Write Love on Her Arms. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on inside of the world of the multiverse. No doubt about that as we are hanging and banging. So a lot of stuff going on right there. TWLOHA.com. To Write Love on Her Arms. Okay. So there you go. You'll find out more information there if you go over to that section. No doubt about that one. Anyways, let's continue talking about some other things going on inside of the world of the multi, because that is what we do around here. Take a listen to this. Rest in pieces. Yeah, a funeral home in Moose Jaw, SK. Not sure where that is introducing a unique memorial option known as parting stones, offering families an alternative to the traditional urns. W.J. Jones and Sons Funeral Home has partnered with Parting Stones, a New Mexico-based company that transforms cremated remains into smooth stones-like pieces. The process involves converting the ashes into powder, then adding water to make clay-like substances, firing them into killing and producing ceramic-like stones that can be held, displayed, and shared among loved ones. Parting Stones first gained attention after appearing on Shark Tank in 2023. The option, which is also available for pets, has gained gradual gaining interest in Moose Jaw, giving families a more tangible, personal way to grieve family members. Perfect for when want to haunt multiple relatives at once. And let's face it, we all have a few relatives that we would like to be able to skip across the lake. Hey, I mean, I don't know if I'm going to go that far, but man, that's something to think about. What do you think about that? That is a very interesting, we'll just say alternative opposed to anything else. So there you go. Some very interesting stuff for sure.
More sarcasm than a Mortal Kombat beatdown. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so a lot of stuff going on inside of the world of the multiverse. So a lot of stuff as we are talking, hanging and banging here. So let's do this, which we normally do not do, but let's talk about it real quick. Let's talk about Did You Know, because we haven't done one of those in some times. The word buttload. Yeah, I did say that. Buttload, often used as a slang term for a large amount, actually has roots in Old English wine measurement systems. A butt was a real unit used to measure a large quantities of liquid, especially wine or ale. Beginning during the medieval times, one butt equals 2 hogshead, which hogsheads equals 63 gallons, making butt exactly 126 gallons. The unit was mostly commonly used for reference to shipping and storing wine, beer, and other liquids in a wooden cask or barrels. These massive barrels were known as butts. and often appeared in old taverns and ships' cargo. Turns out I never actually drank a buttload of beer after all. Think about that, 126 gallons. It's quite a bit. So here's the funny part. The next time that somebody tells you buttload and you kind of think about it, you're going to think about all the butts that we just discovered. So there you go. Anyways, with that being said, why don't we do this? Let's bring some John Smalls into our life because he wants to give us the motivation minute, and he's a much happier person than I am. That's for sure.
The Motivation Minute, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com.
The Motivation Minute.
Today's quote was submitted by William. John Updike said, "Dreams come true. Without that possibility, nature would not incite us to have them." I love that. But I'll replace the word nature with the word God. But that's just my opinion. I believe God gives us the ability to dream so we can do things that we may not normally be able to do. Have you ever had a dream where you had like superpowers? One of the most common is the flying dream. I used to have that dream often, but I've been grounded now for the last few decades. I remember younger me loved those dreams. My older self dreams of different things, and I love it when I can help make those dreams become a reality.
The Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Hello, I'm Richard Exley with your 1-minute devotion. In 1921, David and Sept Flood went as missionaries to what was then the Belgian Congo. A short time later, Sept died after giving birth to a baby daughter. In despair, David buried his wife, gave his daughter to another missionary couple, and returned to Sweden, feeling like a failure. Years later, that baby girl and her husband were attending an evangelism conference in London when the superintendent of the National Church in Zaire, representing some 110,000 baptized believers, gave an address. Following his presentation, Angie asked him if he had ever heard of David and Sept Flood. "Yes, madam," he replied. "Sept Flood led me to Jesus Christ." If these devotions are a blessing and an encouragement to you, you can subscribe at oneminutedevotion.com.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
The Taliban has imposed a ban on internet access in northern Afghanistan.
Officials stated the measure is intended to curb what they describe as immoral activities. The restriction affects multiple provinces and has disrupted daily communications. Residents report challenges in accessing essential services online. The government has not announced a timeline for lifting the ban. Joseph Eckerson reporting.
Russia's foreign ministry issued a stern warning regarding potential Western troop deployments in Ukraine.
The statement came as European leaders and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky held discussions in Paris. Moscow emphasized that any such presence would be unacceptable in future peace agreements. Diplomatic talks involving multiple nations are scheduled to continue. Observers note heightened tensions in the region. Benjamin Wright reporting.
Israeli forces have advanced deeper into Gaza City amid ongoing military operations.
The Israel Defense Forces reported significant progress in their ground efforts against militant positions. The operations aim to dismantle remaining networks in the area. Local residents have been urged to evacuate for safety. International observers continue to monitor the situation closely. Chris Anderson reporting.
The Federal Reserve has implemented its first interest rate cut of 2025.
The central bank lowered rates by 0.25 percentage points to support economic stability. This action follows recent economic data indicating moderated inflation. Officials signaled potential for additional reductions ahead. Markets reacted positively to the announcement. Lawrence Keller reporting.
Tropical storm Gabriel has formed in the central Atlantic Ocean. It marks the 7th named storm of the 2025 Atlantic hurricane season.
Meteorologists are tracking its path for possible impacts on nearby regions. Residents in coastal areas are advised to prepare for potential developments. No immediate threats to land have been forecasted. Jessica Oakley reporting.
OpenAI has introduced an age-appropriate version of its tool.
The update automatically directs users identified as under 18 to a restricted interface. The change aims to enhance safety for younger individuals individuals. Parents and educators have welcomed the measure. The company plans further refinements based on feedback. Liam White reporting.
Authorities are investigating 2 separate shooting incidents in the United States.
Police suspect a possible connection between the events in different locations. Both cases involved multiple victims and prompted heightened security alerts. Law enforcement has increased patrols in affected areas. Updates are expected as the inquiries progress. Kevin Sanders reporting.
A deal has been finalized between the Trump administration and China regarding TikTok operations.
The agreement ensures the app remains available to users in the United States. Negotiations addressed long-standing concerns over data security and ownership. Implementation details will be outlined in coming days. The resolution ends a multi-year effort to resolve the issue. Kyle Norris reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
Tearing the ass out of you like gas station sushi.
Okay, there you go. 55 minutes past the top of the hour. Let's talk about some things that happened back on this date. Back in 2003, David Heppelman Adams lands his hot air balloon in Ireland. The journey started in Canada. The trip was the first transatlantic flight made in an open wicker basket hot air balloon. That happened back on this date in 2003. If you're looking at some birthdays for today, they go like this. Juliet Gorgia turns 30. Tom Felton, 38. Willie Sharp turns 39. Mickey Matthey turns 55. Catherine Oxenberg turns 64. Bunty Hunt turns 64 as well. Scott Baio, 65. Andrea Bocelli turns, the 67. Mark Johnson, 68. John Brennan, 70. David Coverdale turns 74, and Tony Bazil turns 82. If you're looking at some days of the year to celebrate, I have some of those for you. It's National White Chocolate Day, Fall Prevention Awareness Day, Hobbit Day, World Car Free Day, World Rhino Day, World Rose Day, Dear Diary Day, and National Girls Night In Day. Girls National Night In Day on a Monday? Who plans these things? No, I'm just kidding. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on inside of the world of the multiverse real quick. Anyways, before I forget, if you did not know, on, September the 30th at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, we'll be actually hosting a live event for free for you to come in, hang out, and we're going to talk about Signal. Get ready to morph your theories into something more. If you're looking at the screener, there's a barcode right there. All you have to do is scan and get your free pass to hang out with us on the 30th of September at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Would love to see you there. No doubt about that one. If you can't see the screener, all you have to do is go to safetyfm.com and click on where it says live events. So there you go. Anyways, if you need a rando for today, let me give you one of those. Running into stationary objects can be painful, according to the recent poll. You got it. Okay, if you need a phone starter for today, try this. Which do you prefer, talking on your phone or texting? Texting, duh. So there you go. Okay, what else do we got? A survey found that 44% of us, this is our top thing that are looking forward to in the fall. What is it? Drinking hot chocolate. Here's another one in case if you don't want to talk about the fall. On any given workday, employees are 20% happier when this happens. They get free food. So there you go. Anyways, thank you for being the best part of Safety FM and Radio Big, and that is the listener, because without you, it makes no sense to do what we do around here. At the top of the hour, we will be going over to radiobig.fm if you want to come and hang out with us. We'd love to see you there, of course. If not, you can hang out here with the likes of Sheldon Primus as he talks about the world of safety consulting. If I can leave you with a deep thought for today, I would love to leave you this. Motivation is what gets you started. Habit is what gets you going. Think about that. Anyways, I know who you are. You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are solely those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Safety FM and or Radio Big. The content discussed, including examples of analysis, is provided for illustrative purposes only. It should not be applied as the sole solution in real-world scenarios, as it is based on limited and dated open source information. Any assumptions made during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are not reflective of Safety FM and or Radio Big. No portion of this broadcast, podcast, or radio show may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, electronic, mechanical, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of Safety FM and or Radio Big. For permission requests, please contact Safety FM or Radio Big directly.